The last game of the season, the Jets fought so hard, but they fell short to the Buffalo Bills. What's good, everyone? Jets Takeoff. What a interesting game. Final score 27-10, and while the score may show that it was kind of a blowout, the Jets were in this game for quite a bit. I'd say the fourth quarter is when the tires started falling off the train, but for this whole game, I didn't really have much expectations offensively just because the offensive line was going to have backups, no George Fant, and then Dan Feeney stepping in for McGovern, and on top of that, there were no wide receivers available. Obviously, no Corey Davis, no Elijah Moore. And then we find out that Jamison Crowder leaves the game after one catch, so he's out for the game. That leaves whoever Black, Denzel Mims, and Jeff Smith are. So it was not looking good from the get-go, and we couldn't get anything going against the Bills' run defense because they're the number one ranked defense in the NFL. So I came in with little expectations, and thank God I did because that is exactly what happened. Zach Wilson, how did he play this game? He played fine. He did not play really good. He did not play terrible. He was right in the middle because of the situation around him with the offensive line, which was, quite frank, terrible today, really bad, and that shows how much we miss George Fant. He has been a rock at left tackle, and that's why I'm a huge fan of keeping him at left tackle rather than gifting Mekhi Becton the left tackle spot and then moving him back to right tackle. Fant proved himself this season in every single fashion, but there was constant pressure on Zach Wilson. He kind of had to try to do too much, but eventually he just couldn't overcome the talent gap between the Bills' defensive line and our offensive line. I think they give up 9 sacks. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 of them are on Zach Wilson, but the rest are on the line just having free runners in his face. So given that, he didn't throw an interception. That is a very good thing. No turnovers when everything is against you. That's a promising sign. He took care of the football enough to at least get one score, but there was no run game either. We just lost the battle on the line of scrimmage with our big guys up against their defensive line. It didn't work. Michael Floyd didn't really have a good game, but then again, the personnel. So what really impressed me about this game is the defense. The defense, finally, it has showed up against a top-tier opponent. Because last game, they did a good job against the Bucs, but they gave up a lot of yards. In this game against the Bills, they didn't give up that many yards to Josh Allen. I think he finished with under 250 passing yards, which is pretty good. And for most of the game, I think up until the fourth quarter, he had maybe 150, 170. It's pretty good against Josh Allen and all those weapons out there on that Bills team. So I'm very impressed by the cornerback room stepping up. Yes, Bryce Hall did get a little bit burnt from here to there, but the fact is he's a really good cornerback too. I don't think he's cornerback 1. He's still one of our best defensive players. We have to compliment him in some fashion, whether in free agency or the draft. And then Brandon Echols, he had a mediocre game. I'll give him that. Michael Carter, the slot, he did a really phenomenal job. The secondary shined today when the Bills were passing. Jason Pinnock, he might be something at free safety. He had a forced fumble. He had a big hit. I like what I see from him. He's very athletic. That was his thing coming out of college. He's very athletic. And for him to play safety and have all that range over the field, it could be something heading into next year if we do not draft another safety. Now, I'm still disappointed with the defensive line. They didn't get any sacks on Josh Allen. There's maybe maybe 3 times when they pressured Josh Allen or at least forced him to get the ball in time, but that unit is very disappointing. There's going to be changes made on this defensive front, whether that's going to be Sheldon Rankins, John Franklin Myers. I don't know. The rotation stuff is a whole topic for the offseason. I'll talk about that eventually, but overall I was impressed by the defense. They kept us in this game. The offense lost us this game, but half of that is just due to injuries, and half of that is also due to we just played worse than the Bills, and that the other half is that the Bills are also better than us in a lot of aspects. So from that offensive perspective, it was painful to watch. It was not fun watching this offense just go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. We get a first down, and then boom, we punt again. It was not good at all, but, we were competitive in this game. I didn't really turn off the game until the 2-minute warning because that was when it was over, but I stayed in tune for most of it, and I liked that the players fought till the end because some players on other teams did quit. You look at the Giants, that team is a whole mess. Despite what Joe Judge said, those offensive players, they look like they quit. So this team fought till the end. They went into Buffalo, which is a very hostile environment, and that's something that I didn't talk about Zach Wilson. It's a tough environment. He's never really faced this much of a crowd or a game where the fans in the home stadium create such a huge impact on the outcome of the game and his play, because it was also windy. It was 20 miles per hour winds. This was not an easy game. This was his first real adversity test facing a true weather game, I'd say. He's going to have to when we play the Patriots and Bills again, so it's a good learning experience in that aspect. But this team came into a hostile environment. They showed up. I remember the Bills went up 10-0. Their fans were acting like they had it in the bag easily. I think the Jets took that a little bit personally, and I like that. I like how they were motivated. I like how Coach Saleh started a huddle around the offensive linemen. That's something I've been wanting to see all year, is Saleh take off the headset, go to position groups, or just call the whole team around and give them a pep talk. I love that. It didn't really work because the offensive line still kind of sucked, but I love that from our head coach. I saw a lot of positives today. While they weren't like, oh my god, that was the best thing I've ever seen, you know, he's a star, or this guy played so well, we got to extend them. It wasn't really any of that, but it was just that the fact that they just did such a good job given the circumstance and how they were competitive. They played with heart. You could tell. This team, they wanted to go out on at least somewhat of a positive note, and they played really tough, so that is a positive note. Now, you know, we might have a kicker. This might be the biggest revelation all season long. The Jets might have a kicker in the name of Eddie Pinheiro. Oh my goodness, this guy, we have to extend him. We have to, whether it's 2 years or 3 is a little bit risky, so maybe lower the guarantees there, but that should be a priority, because that's one thing Joe Douglas has not done, is find a kicker. And then Eddie Pinheiro is nailing field goals left and right, so I'd like to see him back. It's been a huge problem ever since Mac let Jason Myers walk, so that was a terrible decision by our former GM, but anyways, Eddie Pinheiro is here to stay. Overall, it was a fine game. I'm not jumping for joy. I'm not pissed off or I'm going to break my TV or anything like that. No. It was a Week 18 game against one of the better teams in the AFC, and we lost. But we didn't completely get blown out of the waters, and at least we didn't lose to the Jaguars. So I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you think, Jets fans. The offseason is here. I have some stuff planned. I have some film room that I want to eventually get to. Just need to acquaint myself a little bit more with terminology. And I also am going to make off-season videos too. That's something I'm excited about. Opinions, maybe free agent targeting, draft stuff. So if you want to see any of that, come subscribe and tune in, because I'm so excited to share my opinions and kind of bring some extra insight to the Jets fandom. So thank you guys for sticking with us through the season. This was a season full of ups and downs, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. I had some fun. I was also very angry a lot of the time, but there's always next year. So let me know what you guys think. Appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.